couple of weeks ago, I made a video on the Kung Fu Panda trilogy. At the end I said, I don't think this movie will top the first two films, but it may be better than 3. And it turns out, it is better than the third one. Slightly. Kung Fu Panda 4 sees the return of Po, who now has to choose the next Dragon Warrior as he progresses to be the spiritual leader. This is all halted when he teams up with Jin, a wanted criminal, as they must stop the chameleon, a shape-shifting sorcerer. Let's get the obvious out of the way. The biggest problem people are having with this movie is that the Furious 5 are not in it. I may be in a minority here, but I like this new approach. Bold moves in movies are some of my favorite if they play their cards right, and I think this movie proved that they don't need the Furious 5 to make this movie good. Awkwafina is definitely not my favorite actress. In fact, she could be very great or absolutely annoying. I'm here to report that Awkwafina was not that annoying in the movie. She had a few moments here and there, but she's a lot toned down here, and the bond she had with Po is really wholesome. See, Po's really only dealt with good people and bad people, but no one in that middle gray area, and Jin provides that and is a pleasant mix-up to the status quo. If there is a 5th movie, I can't wait to see more of her. And that is something I absolutely never thought I would say about Awkwafina. This movie's budget is lower than the previous 3, but the animation still pops. They end up going to the city that's just full of citizens, and it's the most realized that the world has been yet. There are so many different animals just walking around, and it makes it my favorite location that they have gone to in any of the films in this franchise. The animal fur on everyone is the franchise's best yet, and it's genuinely impressive. The movie has this really cool aesthetic where this banner pops up in action scenes, and it helps the movie keep a different flair. When I talked about the third movie, one of my main issues was the pacing. The movie was so amped up on its comedy that when a real emotional moment came through, it was undercut with a joke. The third movie is so fast paced and has more jokes, so it causes the film's comedy to stick out when it fails. The first and second film have the perfect balance between comedy and drama. This fourth installment feels like a return to that form, but also the comedy in this one is absolutely hit or miss. See, when the first trailer ended with this joke, yeah, I just kind of knew I wouldn't be laughing as much, and yes, the vicious bunnies are kind of annoying and not that funny.
Violence makes our tummies tingle.
But what makes Kung Fu Panda one of my favorite movies in DreamWorks' franchise catalog is the villains. All the villains in Kung Fu Panda are genuinely great, except for one, and the chameleon can join him. Honestly, the chameleon is menacing in concept, but similar to Kai, I wasn't really threatened by her like Shin and Tai Long. I will say she's only slightly better than Kai because of her shape-shifting powers, causing her to turn into any master she wants. She can even turn into Tai Long, which is cool, it's promising, it's badass. 3 minutes of screen time is just really awesome, yeah. Moving on. Overall, Kung Fu Panda was underwhelming. It only feels like a slight improvement of the third, but that's okay. I think if you go in wanting this movie to be better than the first two, then this movie is not gonna sit well. But if you go in just wanting another fun adventure with Po, then you will really like this movie. Because after all, this movie, it could be worse. Wasn't there another DreamWorks movie that just came out that was absolutely trash? Nope, can't think of anything.